Season 1 is here. Diablo just made a huge announcement in their live stream about Season 1 of Diablo 4. Season 1, or Season of the Malignant, is going to be coming out July 20th and lasts approximately 12 weeks. There's a new threat that emerges with the season release that corrupts the mob's hearts with Malignant, and you'll follow his storyline to help the main character Cormon fight what is threatening Sanctuary. This is a brand new season-specific storyline that has 7 different chapters for you to progress through. To track your progress of the season, they've added a new Season's Journey feature. This basically shows you how you can progress through the season by doing different objectives to obtain different aspects, legendaries, awards, gear, currency, etc. They did mention that the final chapters of the season are going to get increasingly more difficult, but offer cooler cosmetic rewards. As far as gameplay is concerned, these new corrupted monsters will drop Malignant powers. This is the new system which is being introduced in Season 1 of Diablo 4. These new Malignant powers are very similar to aspects of legendaries. They basically allow you to build your character in different unique ways throughout the season. There are 32 different Malignant powers that are being released with Season 1. These Malignant powers you can obtain by fighting Malignant mobs. Basically what happens is you'll see that there's a Malignant mob. When you fight that mob, when he dies, he will drop his Malignant heart. If you take that Malignant heart and interact with it with a Cage of Binding, it'll start almost like an event, very similar to like Cursed Well or Cursed Shrine. When you fight this mob, he'll have more power, and when he dies, he will drop his heart. This heart will be a caged heart, and basically that is where the Malignant power is stored. These Malignant powers, if you look at them, are very similar to gems. You have to actually socket them into your gear. Now in Season 1, there's going to be specific gear that'll have specific colored sockets. Each piece, when it drops, will have a socket color assigned to it. You have to use the appropriate Malignant power color with the appropriate socket color. They have to match. The only exception to this is the Wrathful Malignant powers, which can go into any gem socket. Now, if your gear doesn't drop with a socket, you can still go to the jeweler and add a socket, but the socket's color type will be predetermined when it drops. This is interesting because it should force you to build your character in unique ways, and you shouldn't be able to only use the most powerful Malignants. The builds could get increasingly more interesting with all the different Malignant powers that you can add into them and take away, and this allows for them to kind of balance change based on specific things, with even just changing a coloring socket. Now, as far as obtaining Malignant powers, it's pretty simple. In the world, there's going to be Malignant mobs that are infesting the entirety of Sanctuary. You will be able to fight them in the open world, in dungeons, etc. But if you were looking to target specific Malignant powers or just Malignants in general, there's going to be a new dungeon, so to speak, that's going to be called Malignant Tunnels. In these tunnels, there should be a lot more Malignant mobs, so you can kind of target farming Malignants specifically. Now, they showed a small clip where you actually could choose like the color of the Malignant that you're shooting for. So this should be really helping you kind of hone in on the specific Malignants that you're after, instead of just kind of going around and hoping that you can get a Malignant from a random mob in the world. They also had mentioned that they're adding in new uniques, new legendaries, new aspects, all the good stuff. So this should make for a lot of new, unique, fun builds for everybody to kind of experiment with. They mentioned something called Seasonal Blessings. I thought this was a really cool, kind of simple, but, you know, fun way of introducing the season and helping you. As you progress through the season's battle pass, you're gonna start obtaining this new currency called Smoldering Ashes. Basically, you take this currency and you put it into an urn. There's a few different types of urns that you can put your ashes into. They range from boosting your XP, boosting the gold from vendoring, more salvage materials, elixir durations, or more Malignant drops. As far as seasonal prep goes, you have a lot of time, and there's not too much to do. They did announce this on July 6th, and you have until July 20th before the season starts. All you have to do is make sure the campaign is done, that you discovered all of your map, and that you picked up all of your Altars of Lilith. Starting on July 18th, when they actually put out the patch, you'll be able to log into the character that you did all this on, and it should automatically transfer that information to every one of your characters and any new characters, including the seasonal ones. Now, if you don't get your campaign done, you will have to follow and finish the campaign during the season before you'll move in and be able to start playing with the Malignant powers, so make sure you do that. Now, at the end, they did have a Q&A. It was pretty short, but it did have some interesting information. They talked about respecting characters. They had a few different points for this. They were talking about, first, the cost of it, and secondly, the UI of it. They had mentioned that the cost of it is kind of what they're like expecting it to be. They're not going to make too many changes, but they're following the economy and will make adjustments if need be. Now, as far as UI elements go, they're talking a lot of different improvements over a long term. So they have lots of things in store, but they're not sure when they're going to be able to implement them. Now, one thing that was really cool at the end is that they mentioned this new item called Scroll of Amnesia. They didn't show it or anything like that, but basically at the end of the season, it sounds like once you finish your entire seasonal campaign, you'll get a Scroll of Amnesia. This Scroll of Amnesia will let you reset your entire character from talents to Paragon boards for absolutely no cost. Now, another interesting thing that they had mentioned was nerfs/buffs during the season. They said they're not really looking to nerf or buff during the season, but they are trying to make sure that they have the ability to in case there's an outlier situation where they really need to nerf or buff something. Now, one thing that they did say is they are going to look to make a more unified update cycle. Now, what that means is basically they don't want to be doing these crazy updates all over the place. They just want to do like one update a week for different game fixes and bugs and buffs, etc. The last thing they hit on was the stash space. Now, they didn't really give us crazy information about this, but basically they said, we know, we hear you, we're working on it. Take it for what it is. I thought it was a great live stream, lots of good information about the season. If you stuck around for the video this long, I truly appreciate you. And just to give my little thanks, I'm going to be giving away 1 copy of Diablo 4 for PC. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below. That's all I got for now. Peace.